Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and I'm shooting in my place in Portland right now. It's a new spot, and I'm getting dressed up because I had a date tonight, but I think the date actually has just totally flaked on me, which doesn't usually happen. So here I am making videos, catching up on stuff, being a good YouTuber, trying to get consistent again since I got COVID. Um, but yeah, like I kind of wanted to talk about the biggest change that's been happening in my life right now. And I think it's the biggest change I've ever had in my entire life, which is a really weird thing to say to myself because I thought transitioning was going to be the greatest change in my life. I mean, how about you? Like, where are you in your life? How are you changing? How are you transforming? And what has been the greatest change in your life up to this point? And do you think that you have anything larger than that to transform or change in your life? Like, where are you looking to go? Like, where are you hoping to be in 5 years? Do you have even an idea of where that might be 10 years down the line? I don't really have much of an idea about 10 years down the line. But as I've kind of moved through life and become older and more matured in my career and stuff, it's become a little easier to look 2 to 3 years down the line and to really kind of hope and fish. But things have always changed. I did not see Berlin. And then I did not see leaving Berlin until like a month when I decided to do it. But anyways, like the other day, I think, sorry, COVID, I'm still recovering. um, the other day, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I said to myself, Ashley, I think this is the biggest change in your life that you've ever done. And to me, that was a weird thing to say because I've always touted and thought my transition was like the hardest and biggest transformation that I had to go through. And there's nothing else that can really compare to spending every single day moving over, changing. I'm still changing. I'm still moving things within myself. It's a long, drawn out process that leads to a lot of change and transformation. But I feel like I'm in a more critical transformation now than my male to female transition, if that makes sense. And that's the inner part. Um, the part of you that, how do I put this? The part of you that is still there, regardless of if you transition in the beginning stages or the end stages or in the middle. It's the part of you that is the bones of you, of the essence of you, and everything else may change. The clothing may change, the mannerisms may change, how you present may change, but there's a part of you that's like fundamentally there. Do you know what part I'm talking about? Where are you, like, in your change, your transformation, in your journey? How do you see the common threads? Like, what parts of you have evolved versus what parts of you have stayed and are still very much a part of you? This is the bones and the meat, the flesh. Not a cannibal, I swear. This is the thing that I am changing right now, is I feel like my transition, while it was a complete transformation to my very core, I feel like there were core operating systems in my behavioral patterns and the way that I operated in life, how I had seeking behaviors, how I had certain dopamine seeking behaviors and certain actions and things that I would do in the present moment that would change my experience. Like, let me go do something. Oh, let me go do something. What am I going to do next? I don't know if you've ever said that to yourself, but I'm always like that. I'm an action-oriented person, and maybe that's why you like watching these videos. I don't know why you like watching them. Tell me what you like about watching these videos, because I'd love to know. Sometimes I'd love to hear. Give me a little boost. Give me them drugs. Give me some ego boost. An aside, egos are not bad things, by the way. It's just we only talk about egos when it relates to a bad thing happening. But we never talk about ego when it's a good thing, like having a good sense of self, having boundaries, knowing where you should draw the line, knowing who you want to be or who you can become. Like, that's all ego related stuff too. even knowing that you exist, like that requires ego. Okay, I'm going on a tangent. But like you, okay, so let's talk about you. So you can transition. Like some people who watch this are transitioning. I don't know if you're transitioning, but it's possible. It's maybe even likely that you're considering it. But like transitioning requires you to move from one gender to the other. And some people are already like, oh, I'm 100% this other gender and I'm just moving there. And then other people are like, well, I don't know, I'm questioning and then I'm figuring it out. And then slowly you make momentum and then suddenly you realize things, right? Where are you on that journey and like what's your approach to this transition thing? I was one of more of the slow kind of like, oh, it's this and it's that. And now I'm starting to find myself and oh shit, I'm a woman. Yeah, that hit me like a truck. So like that is a big part of you that you are changing and transforming. But I think there's another part of you that you don't really touch because it doesn't really get affected by the gender change. So for me, this is like what I would just call the operating system, how I do operations, how I wake up in the morning, turn off my alarm clock, turn on the tea kettle, go brush my teeth, start my exercise. All of these things are just like a part of my approach. And the impatience that I have in the moment sometimes, or the action that I take in the moment, or that I move towards, the planning that's going on in my head, all of these things were there before I transitioned, and they're still here after I've transitioned. This has not changed. And it has not changed since I was probably like 7. And I know that there's a part that I call the generator part, just to kind of tell my personal story. There's a generator part within I call it the generator in my head, which just keeps generating ideas. It keeps going, keeps looking at things. And it probably got spun up when I had really high anxiety when I was 7 and I was losing my hair. And it just hasn't stopped from there, and it just latches onto things. It's obsessive. It's this thing that I've actually really uncovered and not really paid attention to until this past month after COVID. I've entered what I would call a non-doing phase, a phase of actually taking anti-action to not do the doing and to undo all of the doing that I used to do. I can't believe I made that sentence work. Someone please write that quote down in the comments. I would love to see that. So this is the thing. This is big for me, is to change the operations side of Ashley, to change the way I think and move and do stuff and how I even approach that. Because if I reformat that, it's going to totally change how I work, how like my anxiety is, and how I experience the world. So this is really exciting for me. It's a big change. But what is weird and confusing is I'm not doing anything. I'm actually trying to proactively not do things. Does that make sense? So I want you to like reflect this thought and where I've taken you here back to you and think about your own life and like what parts of you do you have that consistently tick along and move and operate in the background that you may sometimes ignore, or you've become so used to thinking and working this way that you don't even question it. You just let it operate. You let it be. You let it just keep going, and you never actually change it because you're like, I don't need to change it. It's fine. But every now and then, it might be worth to reevaluate some of these operating systems that you have. And I will say this, just because I'm trans and just because there's other people that are trans, it does not mean that they are somehow more enlightened than cis people. Because I've seen a lot of undeveloped trans people as well. And it's just ridiculous that people would put so much energy into transformation and changing, but they don't make themselves a better person. They just change their gender, but they don't become a better person. Like, what a horrible thing to do. Okay, so you're good. So you want to transition, which is like to hypothetically make your life better, but you're not going to be a better person. So instead, you're going to take all of your trauma, all of your negative behaviors, all the things that may not be so good for you, and you're just going to keep them going along. I don't know, like this is starting to encroach on a different topic, but I want to just raise this as a flag for you to think about your personal development and invest in yourself, to really like step forward and say, you know what, I'm worth it and I should grow, and I don't need to just do the external work. I really need to build a more full, whole person that has the internal work. Because this internal work, it's tricky, but it's like a calling resonant frequency that attracts certain people that are at the same level as wherever you're at. Um, so, like, if you're shit, do you want to attract shit? I don't think so. You're just going to be stuck in shit, which is not a good place to be. So, yeah, I think that's probably where we end this video. Thanks for joining me today. Check out my Patreon. Support me on Patreon. If you're transitioning, check out the Trans Club. I'll see you in another episode soon. Bye. Where is my record button?